Hello and welcome to my Premier League 23-24 predictions. Starting off with the teams that I think are going to be relegated, we've got Wolves. That might come as a surprise to a lot of people, but there's a lot of poo-poo going on at Wolves behind the scenes. They've just sacked the manager. I think they're pretty poor as well. They can't sign any players. And they lost Ruben Neves. So that's why I think Wolves will be going down. Number 19, I'm going with Nottingham Forest. Yes, Nottingham Forest. I think second season syndrome's just going to hit them like a ton of bricks. They were lucky to stay up last season, and I think the only reason they did stay up is because there was teams worse than them, but they've got rid of one of the best midfielders of all time, John Josh Shelvey, in their team. So yeah, it's not looking too good for them. And this is a pretty obvious one. 20th, it's not Luton, it's Sheffield United. They've just sold their best player, and I don't think they've got the resources. Like, they haven't got enough money to build up the team that they need for the Prem. Sheffield United, I'm sorry, but you're going down. Now, for the teams that I think are going to get European football, I'm pretty sure it's 8 teams this season. 5 teams get Champions League, 2 for Europa League as well, and then 1 for Conference League, so that's 8 teams. Starting with number 1, it's Man City, obviously. Who else would it be? I mean, Man City may have got rid of some of their best players like Gundogan. Who else did they get rid of? Well, anyway, they've lost Gundogan. He's a great player. I think they've still got it in them to win the Prem. Like, it's Man City we're talking about. They won the Champions League last season, and they still have Erling Haaland, so there's no way that they don't win the league. Now, in second, this is actually an interesting one. Manchester United. I think they're going to get second this season because Ten Hag, he's made some really good signings. They might be signing Amrabat as well, but they're getting second. Now in third, I'm going with Arsenal. I don't think they'll get second because, you know, they've got Champions League now, so more football to focus on, and they've got the squad depth, kind of. Not like Man City, but they're a good side. They brought in good players like Rice, David Raya, Yuri Timber. So I think they will still stay in the top 4, and maybe they'll even do alright in the Champions League. They might get to a quarter-final or something, I don't know. Now in fourth, it's not my beloved Newcastle that I think will be getting fourth this season. We don't have the team for that. Even though Eddie Howe's a great manager and I love him dearly. And for fourth place, I'm going to go with Liverpool. They've signed good players and I think they've just missed out on Caicedo. They've lost a lot of players as well, and they haven't got the squad depth like a Man City does, or even an Arsenal does. So we'll have to wait and see what Liverpool do, but I think they'll get top 4 this season. But Thursday night football in the Europa League could be a bit difficult to them. And now for 5th place, this is interesting because 5th place actually gets Champions League next season. Don't ask me why, something about UEFA, I don't know, alright? But I'm going with Newcastle United. I think we will do well. Our midfield is unreal. Like, it's unreal. Hopefully Tonali does well this season. And then there's Elliot Anderson that's breaking through. He was amazing in pre-season, even though pre-season doesn't mean a lot. Eddie Howe will be able to do it for us. If he got us 4th last season with the team we had, I still think we can get 5th. And then in 6th place, I am going for Chelsea. I don't think they'll get top 4. Many people think they'll get top 4, but I just don't think they have it in them. Having one striker in Nicholas Jackson is not going to save your whole club. They've got loads of squad depth. They don't need to worry about that. But Colwill looks good. It looks like they're getting Caicedo, which is great. Reece James, if he stays fit, he'll be great for him. Chilwell, same thing. But once again, I do think they're lacking in attack. Like, Nkunku's injured from a knee injury already. So, yeah, that's why I think they'll get 6th. Now, in 7th, this is for the 2nd Europa League spot after Chelsea getting Europa League. And I'm going to go with Aston Villa. They've got Conference League this season. I think they'll win that. They may struggle a bit with European football like Newcastle, but Unai Emery, he is cooking. He is officially cooking. I do think Villa will have a good season and they will get 7th place. Now, in 8th, this one is a sticky one because their best player has just left to Germany. Yes, it's Tottenham Hotspur, because if Kane's leaving, I think they're still a good team. They've got James Maddison, you know, they've still got Heung-min Son. Richarlison could be better this season because he wasn't blessed with the greatest coaching last season. It's kind of like they've got Pochettino again, like they're starting afresh. And as I am half Australian, I hope Big Ange can get the job done. But now, it's time to look at the teams that will exceed expectations, or teams that will inseed. I don't know what the opposite of exceed is. So for my dark horse of the Premier League 23-24 season, I'm going with Luton Town. Yes, this is a surprising one. They've only just come up and they haven't made amazing signings. They've just signed Ross Barkley. They're building a good team for the Championship, and I think the hardest thing that is going to be for the other teams is going to be playing at Kenilworth Road. I think that might be to Luton Town's benefit, actually. I don't think Luton will do amazing. I just think they'll, you know, they might get a humble 16th place finish. But we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? That's the whole point of this video. Well, are you ready for this one? I believe the flop of the season will be Brentford. Yes, Brentford, the team that did really well last season. Ivan Toney scored like 20 goals for him until he got banned. And this season, he's not going to be back till January. They've just lost their best keeper as well, David Raya. They're good with making signings, you know, with all the money ball and that, but I don't know. I don't think they'll do as good as they did last season. Maybe a 12th place finish, something like that. It'll be a kind of rebuilding season for them. Now, we've done the teams. Now it's time to venture in the world of the players. Who do I think is going to be top scorer? Erling Haaland. It's Erling Haaland. I don't know why I even gave it an introduction. It's Erling Haaland. Who else is it going to be? I don't think Salah will come second, you know. I think there's literally no bias at all, but I think Alexander Isak's going to come second. Alexander Isak will be the second highest top goal scorer, and then Erling Haaland first. It's not nice to be negative, you know, you need to be positive in life. But I need to say who I think is going to flop. I think this is a bit harsh, but he's got a lot of expectations right now, and I don't think he's going to live up to them yet, because he's a young player, and I think it's going to be Rasmus Højlund. From what I've seen, he looks pretty decent, but that was like his breakout season, and he's going to join the Prem now, which is a big step up from the Serie A. So I think he will do well in due time. He's a young player, he's very young, but for now, here's my flop of the season. Now for the FA Cup, I think the FA Cup will be won by Manchester City. It's an easy answer, but I think Manchester City will do it. But I don't think they'll win the Carabao Cup, because I think Chelsea are going to win the Carabao Cup. Chelsea literally only have the Premier League, Carabao Cup and the FA Cup to focus on. They'll be prioritising a trophy this season, seeing as they aren't in Europe. Pochettino will know that the fans want some silverware. So I think they will be going for the Carabao Cup. I've done the Premier League, I've done the FA Cup, I've done the Carabao Cup. But what about Champions League, and the Europa League and the Conference League? Well, for the Conference League, that's easy. Villa are going to win that. Literally, the other teams in that league are part-timers. So, Villa, if they don't win that, there's something wrong there. Because West Ham won it last season, and Villa are much better. And as for the Europa League, I believe that Liverpool, yes, another English team, will win the Europa League. They're not going to face too much competition. They've got the team to win the Europa League, and I think Klopp will want to lift the morale at the club, get some more trophies. So I think that Liverpool will win the Europa League. But for the Champions League, it's not going to be a Premier League team. I'll tell you that now. So I think it's going to be two teams that are going to either win the Champions League. I believe it's going to be between Barcelona, yes, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich. One of them two teams will win the Champions League, mark my words. Bayern Munich have an amazing team as is. They've got an amazing manager in Thomas Tuchel. He won the Champions League with Chelsea, and he's got a better team now, arguably. So I think Bayern Munich could very well win the Champions League. But if not Bayern Munich, then I think Barcelona have a great chance. Like, they're slowly cooking. Barcelona, the signings they've made are great. He's just got Gundogan for free, and I think he's going to do great next season. So I believe that the Champions League will either be won by Bayern Munich or Barcelona. My time here is done. Thank you for indulging. I will react to these predictions at the end of the season, and if I get them horribly wrong, there will be a forfeit.